A Philly cheesesteak on the new Konnected Joe using the new carbon steel griddle. Stay tuned and we'll get into all the details. Man, this looks delicious. Hey team, let's fire up the Konnected Joe. We are gonna be using big block lump charcoal from KJ. I've placed that in the center of the heating element so that it will have good heat distribution when we set this griddle on there. One thing to make note on is when you get the griddle for the first time, make sure that you season it for 1 hour, and then from there you're ready to put it to good use. Now that we got the lump charcoal already in here, I've already got that placed. We're gonna come down here and power on. We're gonna be using the griddle mode, accessory mode, and select that. And then from here, it's gonna encourage us to close the bottom vent. We've done that. And then from here, oh, there's a little Milo action. We're gonna set this from 300 to 350. I'm gonna move it to 350 to 400. And now from here, we're gonna let this thing fire up. And I'm gonna click the automatic fire button. And then once I see that this is lit, I'll put the griddle on here and we'll let everything come up to temperature. While that's doing, I'm gonna bring you in and show you how we're gonna use all of the ingredients to make our Philly cheesesteak. So stay tuned as we get that ready. All right, friends, we are going to show you all the ingredients. We've got some red peppers, green peppers, white onions, and some ribeye steak. You can also use eye of round, but this has great intermuscular fat. And we put the meat in the freezer for 1 hour so it hardens, so it'll be easy to get thin slices. And then we'll be using some salt and pepper once we get it on the griddle. And then some of my house rub and some W sauce to mix in here once we get it on the griddle. So we sliced the white onions. Now we're gonna slice the red pepper. Now we're slicing up the ribeyes, and you can already see how thin that is, but look at the marbling on that. That is gonna be so tasty. So I won't show you exactly cutting this whole ribeye, but we'll get through all of this and be ready to go. Well, hey friends, I want to let you know I'm doing a 10,000 subscriber giveaway once I hit that milestone. I'm at over 6,000. Would love for you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss this giveaway. But I'll be giving away a Kamado Joe and a Solo Stove and my new rub that I just launched. I'll put a link in the bio for you to check out this rub that I used. It's called Sweet Red Dirt. It's got a little kick of sweetness and heat to it. I think you'll really enjoy it. And we'll be giving this away and once we hit 10,000, so be sure to share with friends, and thanks for watching. All right, team, so I've got the Konnected Joe up to 400 degrees. We put the carbon steel griddle on and let it come up to temperature. We close the dome and let it come up to temperature, and now we are ready to go. We already showed you all the ingredients with the red bell peppers, green peppers, the white onions, and the ribeye sliced thinly. And we're gonna start with our onions, or our bell peppers and onions, and put it on the grill and let that go first. And then once we feel like that's good, I'll pull those off unless I feel like I can bank everything to the side. And then we'll kickstart our meat, and then we'll also toast up some hoagies and get that ready to go as well. So let's get this going. All right, friends, we're gonna start with these bell peppers. And don't worry, we're gonna mix them all up together as well so we get a good pile. And then what I'm gonna do is a little mixture of kosher salt and coarse ground pepper. We got the oil already on there, but we're gonna also oil this up. We're gonna cook these until the onions get a little translucent. We get some good grill marks on here, then we'll pull them off. I'm gonna also throw some W sauce on here to give it extra little flavor. All right, team, now it's time to start putting this meat. We're gonna make 2 piles, make it really easy. We're gonna let this cook for 30 seconds to a minute on one side, flipping until we see some good browning. And we'll flip until we see that the meat is nicely coated and cooked fully through. Yeah, there we go. And it's thinner, so it's not gonna take too long. I'm gonna top it off with some of my seasoning. You can use kosher salt and black pepper if you don't want to use a rub. Kind of make sure that this is getting adhered to the meat. Again, another 30 seconds and then we'll flip. All right, friends, now that this is done, we're gonna start putting these onions back on there pretty evenly. Looking great. Ooh, it is hot. These are still hot. It's looking awesome. And now we're going to start doing some mozzarella cheese. And we're going to do things in 3. We're going to do mozzarella and also some provolone. And we're going to do it in increments of 3. See, right here and back at it. And then we'll do another layer. And then we'll finish it off on that one. And then we'll shut the dome here in a moment. Make sure everything is melted properly. You don't want to skimp on your cheese. I think the cheese part makes it really special. And now we're going to close the dome. Let these melt. Now we're making room to toast the buns in the middle, put some butter in the middle, and then we'll be putting these freshly on there. You can already see that cheese melted. It's ready to go. All right, friends, it's time to do a taste test. Man, I'm going for it. I didn't even slice it. I'm just going for the front here. All right, so I just finished up making those kind of inspired Philly cheesesteaks, and I know it's probably gonna be, to some critics, gonna be purists, and I didn't get something exactly right, but put in the comments, let me know what you thought so far. But the taste was outstanding. Getting the cheese, the you know, that ribeye, and then also all the different little sauce mix in there with the W sauce, and the vegetables and the peppers and onions was just a great combination. It's a classic. It's one that I would recommend, and it's a lot of fun firing up the Konnected Joe using this griddle. Obviously, you can do so much. Do breakfast. You could do you know, sear steaks, chicken, pork chops, whatever you want. Smash burgers, all sorts of things you can do with this griddle. But this one was a fun one, and I thought I would challenge myself to do something different that I typically don't do. So this is a great recipe to consider. I like the tenderness. You need to really stay on it as far as just making sure the quick steps that happen as you're going from cooking the onions and the bell peppers to cooking the steaks, melting, trying to toast your buns. You do definitely need to stay on things. You can overcook the steak, so you got to do things really quick. And there was a few definitely pieces of ribeye that I overcooked, and that's just to be transparent, but I got the good chunk and majority cooked through properly, and then we just put the remaining cheese on there and it melted. It was just so delicious. Overall, super happy with this. A few other things to keep in mind. It took me about 10 to probably 15 minutes to get the grill up to temperature with the griddle from when I put the automatic fire starter. Oftentimes that's a question I get asked, so I want to make sure I mention that. And then when it comes to cleanup, we're gonna let this, I've kind of moved all of the grease and any drippings left over into the grease trap, and then I'm gonna let this cool down. Once it's cool, then I'll do the proper cleaning. You can do some warm water and a little rag to get this clean, and then your next cook, do a little light oil, and you're ready to go for your cleaning process. But overall, a really easy cook, and the Konnected Joe definitely performed. From when I pushed the automatic fire starter, putting that griddle mode, it hit 400 exactly and stayed steady the whole time. So I would say I'm very impressed with the performance so far. So man, it was a good tasting cheesesteak. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought. From my backyard to yours, less hate, more love, good barbecue. Till next time.